It is time to do a deep dive onto the new DMZ map, Ashika Island. This new resurgence map is coming to DMZ and Warzone 2, and we're going to go into the deep dive blog post and see the entire map in its entirety, what it's looking like, and give our thoughts. If you're interested in more DMZ and Modern Warfare 2 tips, tricks, and guides, make sure to sub to the channel. So here's a brief overview of the map that you can see here for DMZ and Warzone. This is called Ashika Island. I'm super excited for this. I will say this, I've been sick for the past few weeks and I have not looked at anything to do with this blog post. So this is going to be my actual first impressions as well. So hopefully that adds a little bit more fun into it for all of you. But this is what we're looking at. You can see there's a lot of different POIs here. You have the port, you have the beach, you have the town, you have the farms, you have shipwreck, residential area, and the castle. So this is pretty cool, right? You have kind of all these different, regions, biomes, POIs, whatever you want to call them. Very different play styles that are going to be kind of taking place here. But let's hop right on into this blog post. So this is going to be probably a longer video, so feel free to skip around if you would like. So Ashika Island is also known as Isle of the Sea Lion, and it is a part of a small archipelago located in an undisclosed location. So we don't actually know where this is, but we do know it's somewhere in the Asia Pacific region. Now it says that it has been indicated that this is being used as a hub for ultranationalist Coney group, including the transportation of chemical and biological weapons. A little bit similar to Building 21 in terms of, chemical and biological stuff going on here. It says it is obtained by Redacted based on the Path to Season 2 update. It says here is going to be occupied by Shadow Company, so we do know that. And it does say here that this noxious weaponry is being shipped from a suspected biolab facility in Al-Mazrah. So I don't know if that's talking about Building 21 or not, but there's obviously some correlation in the lore of DMZ here. There is a 40-second video here. I'll kind of skip through a little bit so you can see, but we're going to go through all these images in a second. Looks like a nice little map. I mean, you can see here people dropping in. That looks obviously more like Warzone, but it's going to be free for everyone on February 15th. So if you're a DMZ or Warzone player, this map will be released on February 15th. All right, so now let's go into some of the POIs. I think this is going to be the most interesting part. So first things first, we have Oganiku Farms. I probably butchered that, so I apologize, but we have farms. That's what we'll call it for the sake of simplicity. So this is a mixture of agricultural, residential, and industrial use along the old shoreline defenses. So you can see here on, actually I'm blocking it. So you can see here on the map, it is, if I can pull it up right here. It is this upper corner right here on the map. So looking good there. And then we can see here lookout and ruins. So this is an image here, very barren on this area. This is probably where those old shore defenses they were talking about are. There's a comms tower, one of 3 towers which are easily spotted landmarks across the island. So that's pretty cool. I wonder if, and this is not confirmed, and maybe there's more about this later on in this blog post, but it talks about 1 of 3 towers which are easily spotted landmarks. The fact that they're specifically adding these landmarks makes me wonder if it's going to be similar to Building 21 where we do not have a mini-map. That would definitely be interesting. Obviously, we have a mini-map on Al-Mazrah. I wonder if they're going to take that away for Ashika Island as they did Building 21. Then you have the North Beach. They talk about the fog as well. Apparently, the fog is all over this island. So as you're moving up into, like, let's say where the castle is in the middle, it's very foggy. So people with height advantage might have a better time seeing you coming up the hill than you would seeing them as you're coming into the fog. We also have the greenhouses. You can see here just a bunch of greenhouse type buildings. It also specifies here that there's 8 separate greenhouses, all with individually numbered rooftops to aid in location. So you can see 1, 2, 3, there's 4. I'm guessing that's 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. We'll probably have missions that specifies to go to a specific greenhouse, hence why they're numbered if I had to guess, which is pretty interesting. Now we get to go into Tower Center, which is right here along the western coast, or like the northern western coast of the island. So apparently there is a very impressive seawall defenses here, which we can see here. I don't know how much this is going to implement our actual play style in the game, but looks pretty cool. I guess they got some defenses there to prevent tidal flooding. So this could be interesting here. The fact that this is here to prevent flooding could maybe indicate world events or some sort of flooding event that maybe happens, whether it be a event similar to what they've done in the past in the original Warzone, or if it's just something that happens randomly during DMZ where all of a sudden there will be flooding on these coasts of the map, or maybe not on this coast because it has this tidal barrier here to block flooding, but maybe other parts that don't have that, there will be flooding, which is definitely interesting. We have the ferry terminal here, very simple ferry terminal, nothing much to say about that. You have the tourist center building, which is looking pretty interesting. It does say operators may find interesting sightlines across the island towards farms and town center. So I'm guessing you'll be able to get on the roof and have some interesting sightlines, like they just said, to, you know, maybe help you spot out operators as they're coming towards you or maybe running away from you in those other areas. You also have the event center building. This looks like a pretty big POI building. I'm sure this will play a bigger role in the map just due to the size of this little area at this POI. There's also a gas station, so vehicle repairs and refueling capabilities that we can use, which is good. I wonder in terms of what vehicles we'll have on the island, as well as how many gas stations there will be, because obviously this is a small map, small island, so you would guess, you know, logistically they wouldn't have a lot of gas stations. So we'll see how many there are in comparison to Al Mazrah. We also have this area, the Science Center, and then we have the river channel here, which looks like a water that cuts through the map, as well as some bridges. So if we look here, it is this part right here on the map, looking pretty interesting. We have a floating gas station as well out here by the South Sea Wall. So there will be some form of boats or, you know, channels to repair your aquatic vehicles, as it says right there. And then there's also a market district and hotel here. And so another area might be more likely to find PMCs. In areas with a lot of buildings, you're going to be, you know, more likely to see other operators. If I call them PMCs, I'm sorry, I've been playing Tarkov and that's what they're called in that game. There's another gas station as well, so there's a lot apparent. So that's 2 gas stations right away, and this is adjacent to the town hall, which is an impressive modern structure. So I would assume this is going to have some missions that have to do with it. I mean, it is a town hall, so I'm sure it's gonna be something interesting and important for the map. Next up, we have the beach club, which is down here in the bottom left corner of the map. We have an aquarium in here, big building, looking pretty good. We also have a beach club and bathhouse. So smaller little areas, just, you know, little ambiance type areas around to give you that beach club vibe. And then you have the beach and observation point, which is this area right out here. This is interesting. It says what secrets are hidden below the central spiral staircase. So some sort of secrets. I don't know if it's loot, if there's probably a key room that you have to use a key to unlock, if I had to guess. There's also this demolition site. It does say note the pathways here to town hall and up to the castle. So I guess this gives you, you know, a good vehicle, maybe ride up to the castle from this area. Now we get to the castle, which is right in the middle of the map up on the hill. This is going to be the main POI, probably where there is the most action in terms of other players as well as AI. There might even be, you know, strongholds or fortresses in here that you need specific keys to get into. It does say look for high combat opportunities, which is cool, but it says also look low. There's an entire underground waterway and submarine base directly under this fortification. So there is a whole other portion underneath the castle, which definitely adds a bit more spice to the gameplay. And I'm sure there's some ways you can get down there from here, as well as it looks like you'll be able to go in here from the river. There is also the main stronghold here up on the castle. So this is the main building. It is called Main Stronghold. So like I said earlier with strongholds, I would not be surprised if you need stronghold keys or some sort of key cards or keys to get in here. And then here's another view of other surrounding area and buildings. Looking pretty cool. There's a moat surrounding it, so definitely a little bit more protected, a little bit harder to get into. You see there's like a broken hole in the wall here, so there's a bunch of entry points, so it shouldn't be, you know, like too many you know, pathways that you'll get crammed in. There's also SAM turret sites up here, which you know, adds a little bit more to shooting down, you know, supply planes and stuff like that. It also says might be worth checking to see what's at the bottom of this as well. So underneath here, maybe there's some good loot. We will see. There is a North Museum grounds here, so some more buildings, little construction going on. Doesn't say too much. And then we also have the Southeast Gardens, which looks like a nice little I mean, it literally says tranquil right here. A nice little tranquil area. So that looks pretty nice. I like the pink trees. I think the colors is a good thing. And then here's a look at the submarine base called Waterways, which is underneath the castle. Like I said, you can get in from the river right here, which kind of comes in. This is pretty interesting. It says swim or pilot an aquatic craft through the interconnecting canals with a central submarine dock and many other alcoves and hidden routes to find and explore. Now we have a view of the port, which is right here. Looks like a nice big area. And there's also a canal entrance to the subterranean submarine base from the port, which obviously makes sense, but there's another way to get in there from here. You have the humpback bridge. It says watch for foes under the bridge, so I'm guessing there's going to be, you know, some good camping and hiding spots underneath the bridge. You have the dockside and warehouses. Nothing too crazy here. You also have the river channel and control near the canal. So this is how you get into the underground portion from the port side. There's another floating gas station over here, which is good to know. And there's also a regular gas station in the canal, which is another thing that's good to know. And then there is the mechanics yard and oil, that's here. So you have water with stairs here, but you also, as it says down here, have pathways that brings you down towards the rocky beach. So, you know, probably gonna be some spawn points at here. So if you spawn over here, just beware of people coming from these paths. You also have the rocky bluffs here. So a very rocky portion with some pathways kind of going up the sides. It does say to watch out or become an ambusher in these parts because viewing area is restricted. Then we have the residential portion, which is up here on more of the north side, northeast side of the map. It does say there are plenty of places to discover both over and underground. So more underground portions to this map, which adds a ton of playability and variability to the game, which I absolutely love, especially with it being a smaller map. When you have an above ground and an underground portion, it just adds a little bit more difference and doesn't make the map feel as small. You have the apartments here. Just looks like basic apartment buildings. I'm sure this would be a great place to find things in medicine cabinets and that sort of thing, as well as, you know, refrigerators, food, sort of like that. There is also a power plant here, which is west of the castle. It does say here that there is current evidence suggesting an access tunnel linking to water treatment facility to the northeast. So there is going to likely be some sort of tunnel underground that'll link us to other areas of the map, like the water treatment facility, which is the next thing on our list. So it looks like the building is right here in the background, so there's some sort of underground tunnel to maybe lead us over to this area. Now we can go into a bit of the residential district area. You can see here it looked extra foggy because we're near the coastline. It does talk about the fog a bit here. There's also a gas station in here, but it does say with this fog to be ready for close quarters combat, so that's cool. Now we have the shipwreck, which I believe is our last POI down here at the beach. Looking interesting, very foggy because we're right on the coast. So you have the beached cargo tanker. The hull is intact, but it is, you know, right on the edge by the ocean. Looks like a pretty dangerous area to go, especially with these cliffs here. People might be able to see you if you're on this boat. Same thing here, another cargo tanker. And then we have containers here on the beach, which are in a, they almost look like they're shaped like shipment, if you notice that. So I wonder if we'll see some different shipment maps or something like that, but it literally looks like shipment. The way you got the middle, you got the four on the outside. Very interesting the way they did that. Oh, it literally says here, local haulers have arranged the containers in a familiar and pleasing pattern. So they did it on purpose. So that's a nice little touch there from Infinity Ward and Raven and whoever's working on DMZ to make it look like shipment. You have the cliff top demolition area, nothing too crazy there, as well as lookout point and gas station. So there's that. And then that's basically it. So that is all of it that has to do with this season. We should expect more season 2 intel and seasonal announcement blog on February 8th, which I'm recording this on February 7th. So that's probably out by the time you're seeing this video, or it's coming out on the same day you're seeing this video. So that is cool. And then obviously this will be coming out on February 15th, this entire map. So I'm very excited for this to be coming to DMZ. This will get me back into playing DMZ and we'll have more content for you all. So make sure to sub to the channel. If you watch the end of this video, I've been recording for 20 minutes. I don't know how long the video is going to end up being, but if you watch to the end, definitely let me know in the comments what you think about Ashika Island. Sub to the channel and hopefully I will see you all in the next one.